Muammar Muhammad with a warm round of applause. Y'all know what time it is.
Assalamu alaikum. Brothers and sisters, the time has arrived. The hour has come. And once again, by the grace and mercy of Allah, we will see and hear from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. The Holy Quran tells us that Allah has raised in every nation a messenger that teaches, a messenger that guides, a messenger that warns. As Moses was to Pharaoh, and as Daniel was to ancient Babylon, under the kings Nebuchadnezzar and Belshazzar, as Jesus and Muhammad were divine warners to the Caesar of ancient Rome, so is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan to America. The modern Rome, the modern Babylon, the modern Egypt, under a wicked Pharaoh. And the Pharaoh of America today is President Trump. And if he is a Pharaoh, and he is, then there has to be a messenger that speaks to Pharaoh today and the modern children of Israel that are black people in America. The Spirit of the Lord is upon the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. God has anointed him to bring good news to the poor and to proclaim freedom for the captives, that it's time for the captives to be released and those that are bound to darkness to be set free. God has anointed the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan to mend the brokenhearted, to comfort those that mourn, and to proclaim the acceptable year of our Lord, and to declare again that God's judgment is on America. And this is the day of the Lord's vengeance. The man that is before us, I say again, is not before us of himself. He's before us by the grace of God, and he is the representative of the Christ, the Messiah, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. All that are before me and watching, let us stand to our feet with the honor that this man deserves and receive the word of Almighty God, Allah, and the warning from God's man in our midst, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
you.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Go ahead. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but He, the originator of the heavens and the earth and all therein. We thank Him for His prophets and messengers and the scriptures which they brought. We make no distinction between His prophets or messengers. Allah has made some of the prophets to excel others, but they excel because God permitted it. But the prophetic community is one community. And the aim of God is to take humanity with all its diversity to another level, that we outgrow our race, our ethnicity, and embrace our humanity and our divinity. Many people do not wish to say that the human is divine.
That's right. That's right.
But we call the creation divine.
Think about it. Think about that.
The sun is divine, the moon is divine, the stars are divine, the trees, the seas, the oceans, the mountains, the rivers. They're divine because they come from the originator of divine.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So if we can ascribe divinity to the things that He created, and the greatest of God's creation is the human being, then why should we not understand that in the human being is the spark of divine that has been put out in the last 6,000 years of the rule of other than divine? So we may be divine, and we are, but we have acted different. It's not our fault. It really is God's doing. You mean our savage behavior is God's doing? What kind of God would permit evil on our planet and subject humanity to evil, where we have become reflections of rebellion to God? Did you do that, God? May I answer?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead. Yes, sir. Teach us.
I will answer from God Himself. His words from the Holy Quran. God was with the angels according to the Quran.
Yes, sir.
And He made a declaration. He said, I am going to place a ruler in the earth. And the angel said, but what will you place in it other than that which will create mischief and cause the shedding of blood? Allah knew the angels extolled his holiness and his righteousness, but he answered tersely but truthfully, I know what you know not. So evil was allowed a period to rule.
Yes, sir. Teacher. Go ahead. Yes, sir.
And a people were made to fulfill that which God permitted.
Go ahead. That's right.
So we can say with knowledge that the rulers of this world who happen to be Caucasian have not been good.
That's right. Go ahead. Go ahead.
That's right.
We are proof of that.
That's right.
And their history proves that they have not
Go ahead.
been good, not only to black, brown, red, and yellow, but they have not been good to themselves and their own people.
That's right.
Nevertheless, the last message of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in 1974, February the 26th, he said, who is responsible? The potter
Go ahead. Go ahead.
or the clay? He said the white man could easily say, and rightly so, I did not make myself.
Go ahead.
So you geneticists and students of biology, you know that white is an absence of color
Yes. Go ahead.
that came from color.
That's right.
So if he's not the original man, and he is not,
That's right. He's not.
and he's not the Arab original,
That's right. He's not.
and he is not,
That's
Go
right.
ahead. Go ahead.
he's not man as such, he's mankind, a kind of a man, made in the image and likeness of the original man.
That's right. Yes, sir. Teacher. Sir.
So whatever he has done of evil, he was given a season to do it, but we have not understood the reason. If there is only one creator, God made devil.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Teacher. Come on.
So we can ask God, why? Why did you do such a thing? And the God will answer you very intelligently
Go ahead. Go ahead.
and say, what is the greatest of all knowledge? It is the knowledge of self
Go ahead.
and the knowledge of God. Don't you want a perfect knowledge of yourself and a perfect knowledge of God?
Yes, sir.
Don't you want to know what is inside of you that has been causing trouble for you and for me and
That's right. Go
for God?
That's right.
Don't you want to know that? So God, in his infinite wisdom, set all creation on an evolutionary course. So in Arabic, we call Allah Rabbil Alameen, the Lord, nourisher, sustainer, maintainer, and evolver of all creation.
That's right. Yes, sir.
Allah causes everything to evolve, making stage after stage until they reach eventual perfection.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
There was something inside of the originator and the original man
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
that has been giving us a problem.
Go ahead.
It's the father of rebellion. It's the father of that which is contrary to peace. So in the year 8,400 of this particular cycle of history,
Yes, sir.
and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that we, the original man,
Yes. Teach us.
make history
That's right.
to equal our home's circumference.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Circumference of our planet is 24,896 miles, so we make history
Come on.
to last in cycles of 25,000-year periods.
Go ahead.
So we are now in the 16,000 year
Teach me. Teach.
of this 25,000-year history.
That's right. Come on, brother.
And in the year 8,400, the scientists that wrote the history said they saw one coming,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
a scientist
Teach.
named Yaqub.
That's right. That's right. That's his name.
Teach. That's right.
Not a madman,
That's right.
a scientist.
Go ahead.
The greatest experiments in creation
Go ahead.
are the experiments that God and man have made with self.
Teach us.
If you want to know more about yourself, you experiment to find out who you are, what you are, and what you're capable of.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So Yaqub studied the life germ
Go ahead.
of the original man and saw in us a brown germ
Go ahead.
that if he could separate it from the black germ which kept it under control,
That's right. Yes, sir.
he could take that brown germ into its final stage and make a people
Go ahead.
pale-faced,
Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
different,
Go ahead.
unalike,
That's right.
give it form,
That's right.
give it expression,
Go ahead.
Come on, minister.
and teach it a system of tricks and lies that would enable it to master the original man.
Go ahead. That's right.
That's the history. That's the history. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And we have been mastered
Go ahead.
by a system of tricks
That's right.
and lies.
That's right.
So today, you are not who you were created to be. You are who the white man made you to be. And that is why he called you boy. Because you have been made little boys and girls, looking to them like a child to a parent for food, clothing, shelter, education, justice, and jobs.
Go ahead. That's right. Go ahead. That's right.
So we're about tired now
Yes.
of being little boys and gals. We're tired now of being Sambo and clowns and buffoons
That's right.
for white
That's
people.
right. Yes, sir.
We're tired now, and we want relief.
That's right.
And as long as the Caucasian has ruled on our planet, the original and the aboriginal people of color have longed to be delivered.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So Isaiah the prophet writes, "For unto us
Go ahead.
a child is born,
That's right.
Come on.
and unto us a son is given, and a government shall be upon his shoulders, and he shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God, the Prince of Peace, the Everlasting Father, and of the increase of his government of peace there will never be an end." We had an infinity of time. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad says that God taught him
Go ahead.
over 78 trillion years of time
Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
on our planet, not his, our planet, in our universe. We are the makers of all that you see of creation. A son would be born to end the rule of the enemy of God. His job would have been made complete. Now, you can be angry with white people if you want to, and you could cuss them out and say ugly things because they've done ugly things. But wait a minute. They couldn't have done any of this if Allah, God, didn't permit it.
That's right. That's right. Go ahead. Go ahead.
He justifies his existence as a devil
Go ahead. Go ahead.
by being himself.
Yes, sir. Devil is himself.
if he did what God brought him into the world to do, to teach us the full knowledge of what's sitting up inside of us.
Go ahead.
You're not just a killer by accident. You're not a liar and a thief and a hustler by accident.
Go ahead. That's right.
It couldn't come out of you if it wasn't in you.
Go ahead. That's right.
You cannot be perfected until all of our weaknesses are manifested.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
And the white man brought it all out now.
Go ahead. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, he made me a prostitute. No. He showed you what you were capable of.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
I know that kind of grabs you a little, doesn't it? I'm going to take the onus off of him. I'm going to put it where it rightfully belongs, on God. Now, any of you wise enough to charge God
Go ahead.
for just 6,000 years, a moment in infinity of time to suffer?
Go ahead.
To learn that which will perfect us, that would enable us to produce a perfected man, to produce a perfected world.
Go ahead.
I thank God for the devil.
Hey, yes, sir. We do too. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead. Yes, sir. Go ahead. Yes, sir.
Wait.
Go ahead.
Now look at what starts you becoming a devil yourself.
Yes, sir.
I know I haven't given the salutation because I haven't finished saying what I wanted to say before I gave you the salutation.
You on it?
Go ahead. You want it. Go ahead.
Sir. Go ahead, brother. Finish that point. Come on.
Look, God, in his infinite wisdom, caused us to suffer for a moment in time
Go ahead.
to give us an infinity of time in a world that we with God would create,
Go ahead.
wherein no more hate would exist,
Go ahead.
no more murder, no more rape, none of us killing each other over color, over education, over substance that the white man hands out to the few that he hires and buys.
Go ahead.
You should be happy to see a world like this end. You should give God a hand clap of praise because he has come to end this, all of it.
Go ahead. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Like Michael's wife in The Godfather
Go ahead. Go ahead.
said, "Oh, Michael,
Go ahead.
you really are blind. It wasn't a miscarriage, Michael.
Go ahead.
It was an abortion, Michael, and it was a son, and I had it killed because all of this must end."
Go ahead.
So that's why we chose the subject, separation or death. I greet all of you with the greeting words of peace. Assalamu alaikum. I am so happy and honored to be in the great city of Newark, New Jersey, with my brother mayor, Brother Raz Baraka, his staff and police chief, and the wonderful service and honor that he and his staff and police chief has shown us by their service to us. We do not take that for granted, nor do we say that we are worthy of such honor, but we strive to be worthy. Thank you, dear Mayor, and thank you to all of you who chose to come out today to this beautiful Symphony Hall. It has a very significant history. We understand that this hall was originally built by the Shriners.
That's right. That's right.
In 1925, and it was called Salam Temple.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, it's going to be that today. And colloquially, it was known as the Mosque Theater.
Go ahead.
This great city was the headquarters of the great, honorable, noble Drew Ali. This great city, in it in 1913, Brother Noble Drew Ali set up the Canaanite temple in Newark. And it's very, very important because 1914 ended the time of the devil. According to what Allah revealed to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, his time was up to rule us. We are now in our time. And he's in our time. It's very important because Noble Drew Ali was the prime predecessor of Master Fard Muhammad bringing Islam to the black man of America. While Mr. Garvey would not teach religion, though a Muslim influenced him, he did not feel it was his place to teach religion. And Mr. Garvey struck more success with the common man by a more nationalistic Pan-African approach, which had something to do with access to land and freedom. But Noble Drew Ali had the same thought, But he came in a religious vein.
Yes, sir.
And even though Noble Drew Ali had passed, and many of the former followers of Noble Drew Ali came to join the nation, we write a letter to get an X, but he never, ever touched the names that Noble Drew Ali gave to his followers. They already had a righteous name. They already were out from under the enemy. One of the first lections that I ever heard after the Savior's Day address that brought me into the nation, Elijah Muhammad gave that address in New York City under Brother Malcolm in the same hall where Marcus Garvey used to hold his meetings. And I had just come in the nation, and I was in New York, and Elijah Muhammad came, and that day he ordered us to always show honor and respect to Noble Drew Ali and Marcus Mosiah Garvey. And that stands to this very hour. In 1959, in a little theater called the Rico-Ray Theater,
Yes, sir.
Elijah Muhammad came. And I was there, and the little theater was full. And you know, that was like the the beginning of Mosque 25, which is now a great masjid. What is the name of that masjid?
Ali K. Muslim. Ali K. Muslim.
Ali K. Muslim Masjid. Now we chose a subject, separation or death.
Go ahead.
Recently, the FBI, in a new version of the counterintelligence program,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
talked about black identity extremists.
Go ahead. That's right.
And they've got the Moorish Science Temple and the followers of Noble Drew Ali, and they didn't mention us, but we know they're coming. So I thought, since they said that separation of black people from white people was one of the things that upset them, so I want to upset them a little more today.
That's right. Yes, sir. That's right. Go ahead. Yes, sir. Go ahead. Yes, sir.
And in the process of upsetting them, unfortunately,
Go ahead.
I might have to upset some of us.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I don't intend to hurt your feelings, but I will get to you today
Yes, Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Like the old preacher said when he had his Bible
Go ahead.
and his 45 on the rostrum. He said, one of these things is going to move you today.
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm asking you to reason with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
And I want to correct my dear brother Nuri. Yes, brother, I'm not greater than those whose shoulders I stand on. If it were not for those great ones who stood, we could not stand today. So always, you know, keep it 100.
Yes, sir.
As a brother, I thank God
Go ahead. Yes, sir.
for all of those brothers and sisters who went before us, who have now gone into the ranks of the ancestors. They have laid the foundation that we are standing on.
Go ahead. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
So always give honor to them.
That's right.
Always speak reverentially concerning them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Because they suffered to make us who we are today. I want us to look at what Elijah Muhammad put on the back page of our paper.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
He introduced the Muslim program, I think it was in July 1962,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
at the Erie Crown Theater in the McCormick
Yes, sir.
place in Chicago. Then in the next year, it was on the back page of the paper, and from that day to this, we have kept his program before the world. So I want to say to the government, we're not just somebody that's desirous of separating from you
That's right.
on our own.
That's right.
Think about this. Think about it.
The program of separation is given by God and backed by God as the only solution
Go ahead.
to the toxic relationship between black and white.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
What do you want, Muslims?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Now, you may say, well, I'm not a Muslim, so you ain't talking about me. Oh, yes, you are a Muslim.
That's right.
Whatever you call yourself, that's you. But God called you best.
Go ahead.
He said it like this: set your face for religion being upright.
Go ahead.
The nature made by Allah in which He has created the human being, and there is no altering Allah's creation.
That's right. Go ahead.
Everything in creation submits to the will of God except the rebellious devil.
Go ahead. That's right. Teach.
And of course, he has made us into himself. He made us call him Massa. Yes, Massa. And he made you and me into this grotesque manifestation of the original man.
That's right. That's right.
Elijah Muhammad put it on the back page of the paper.
That's right.
We want freedom.
Go ahead.
That's right.
That's right.
A full and complete freedom. Don't you want that?
Yes, sir.
Do you have it?
No, sir.
You don't have it? Why don't you have it? Could that be why Jesus said, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free? What kind of truth should you know that will cut the umbilical cord between you and your master? We want justice. Equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally to all, regardless of creed or class or color. That's what we want. Isn't that what you want? Do you want to see any human being deprived of freedom or deprived of justice?
No, sir.
Well, we're in the same pew, in the same church. We want equality of opportunity. Isn't that what you want? We want equal membership in society with the best in civilized society.
That's right. That's right.
That's what we want.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But here's the thing we got to ask. You know how long we've been in America? 462 years.
Think about it.
And we have suffered every day
Yes, sir.
Every day. Every day.
for 462 years.
Yes, we have.
Yes, we have.
So now, most of you who have been involved in civil rights, we salute you. Because your love of America and white people
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
has caused you to suffer every kind of indignity to get a little glimpse of freedom. So my sister Nina Simone said, I wish that I knew what it means to be free. We don't know freedom. So how have you suffered to get change? We had to die
Yes, that's right. That's right.
to go to toilet with white people.
Go ahead.
We had to die to eat in a restaurant with them.
That's right. That's right.
We had to die to be buried in the same cemetery with them.
Think about it.
We moved into their neighborhood, and the minute they saw us, some of them burned crosses, some of them drove us out, or they left. They don't want to be with us. Now you beautiful sisters in this audience, look how pretty you look when you want to, show yourself. What is it that when you come out and you're so beautiful and somebody ain't paying you no attention? To some of us, that's worse than a slap in the face. I look so pretty, and that man didn't even look at me. And you've been prettying yourself up for white people.
Right.
We want to talk like them. We want to walk like them.
Go ahead. That's right.
We want to be like them, only to be rejected by them.
Think about that.
Aren't you tired? What will it take to make you see they don't want you? We can't get justice under this construct called the American way of life. We can't get full freedom. We can't get equality of opportunity. So Elijah Muhammad said, we want our people in America whose parents or grandparents were descendants from slaves to be allowed. Isn't that nice?
Think about it.
To be allowed to establish a separate state or territory of our own, either on this continent or elsewhere.
Right.
Well, wait. Sisters, have you had an abusive man in your life? Can the church say amen? When you have an abusive man in your life, and the more you try to show that man how much you care, how much you love, and then he keeps abusing you, what thoughts come to your mind? No, wait, don't kill him, for God's sake. But don't you think about moving somewhere else, or doing something else, or being with somebody else? But not you. No matter what he does, we're like the dog, that get away. And the dog run and wag his tail and lift his leg and urinate on your leg, thinking it may be a fire hydrant. You're kind of pitiful. But Elijah Muhammad said, we believe that our former slave masters are obligated. Remember the word now, obligated, to maintain and supply our needs in this separate territory for the next 20 or 25 years until we are able to produce and supply our own needs. Don't say it can't be done. For all these years, the American taxpayers' money has been given every year to Israel to maintain them on the land of the Palestinians. Don't you tell me that we have not earned by our sweat and our blood a land of our own and obligate them. Okay, since we can't get along with them in peace and equality, after giving them 400 years of our sweat and blood and receiving in return some of the worst treatment human beings have ever experienced.
That's right.
We believe our contributions to this land and the suffering forced upon us by white America justifies our demand for complete separation in a state or territory of our own.
Go ahead. That's right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, do you know white people of intelligence feel the same way?
Think about it. Yes, sir.
Somebody told me that the alt-right, Mr. Trump's people, had a tweet or something. We kind of like what Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam is saying. We're with them to separate in a land of their own. I said, very good, alt-right. Y'all want to talk about it? Talking has been done. Nothing to talk about.
That's right.
Because now it's either separation or death. I'll get to the death part in a minute. It's like the or else, you know, with justice. Some of y'all punked out on me.
Yes, sir.
My leadership friends, you know.
Yes, sir.
I wonder what he means by or else. Come on, brother. You know, when you were growing up in mom and dad's house, there was always an or else. And they laid it down very clear. Don't do that again. Or else. And you tried them, and they burned that part of you that deserves burning. And you said, all right, Ma, all right, I won't do it again. You lying, but still.
That's right. I'll give you a few more, make sure.
A good parent knew how to chastise, not to take out their frustration on their children, but to make sure that the children understood the lesson. Listen to what President Thomas Jefferson says. Listen to his words. Deep-rooted prejudices entertained by the whites. You got that? 10,000 recollections by the blacks of the injuries they have sustained. New provocations. The real distinctions which nature has made, and many other circumstances will divide us into parties and produce convulsions which will probably never end, but in the extermination of the one or the other race. That's what one of the founding fathers said. Again, Jefferson said, nothing is more certainly in the book of fate that these people, meaning us, are to be free, nor is it less certain that the two races equally free cannot live in the same government. Jefferson went on. He said blacks should be colonized. Just a moment, Tom. We're not going for that part.
That's right. Yes, sir.
But I'm just telling you what he said. We should be colonized to such place as the circumstances of the time should render most properly, sending them out with arms. Now look at what the president's saying. We can't let the Negroes go and not arm them. But the Israelis want a peace deal with the Palestinians that the Palestinians have no arms.
Think about this. Think about this.
But this is a reasonable white man who recognizes the evil that has been done, was being done, and continues to be done to us. Look on. Listen to what he said. We send them out with arms, implements of household and of handicraft arts, seeds, pairs of useful domestic animals, to declare them a free and independent people and extend to them our alliance and protection till they have acquired strength. Now you gotta say this white man was reasonable. We just correct the colony part.
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll leave him. Let's go to Honest Abe. The 12th president. 16th president, thank you. Nearly a century after the founders put the slavery problem on him, Abraham Lincoln, the 16th president, called into his office a delegation of 5 Washington pastors who were former slaves. Now, pastors, beloved pastors, the white man never taught you theology that you would apply the principles of equal justice to him. He taught you to be more amenable to your condition of suffering and go out when the slave was going to revolt, go and quiet them down. That has been the traditional role of pastors. And I have to tell you, Reverend, young people today ain't going for that at all. Not today. Look at this. Look at what Abraham Lincoln was saying to our black pastors. You and we are different races. We have between us a broader difference than exists between almost any other 2 races. Your race suffer very greatly, many of them by living among us.
All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Come on now.
Go ahead.
Did you hear that?
Yes, sir.
Have we suffered by living among them? Yes, but look at what he said. While our race suffers from your presence. Damn, that's pretty rough, isn't it?
Honest. You don't understand.
And imagine him seeing you walking down the road with his woman. Ending the white man with a shot. from the royal gun. Oh dear. Now we are producing an album.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And Brother Snoop is on the album, and his song is the title of the album. It's called Let's Change the World. You haven't heard it yet, but soon you'll hear it. But one of the favorite lines in the beginning, Snoop says, now put this on the wire. The devil is a liar. Well, you all say that in church. But what makes him a devil? It's because he starts from the basis of a lie, while God starts always from the basis of truth. Truth is the nature of God and the original people, and lies is the mother tongue of the devil.
That's right.
I don't need to tell you that somebody's in the White House that
Come on now.
has a different mother tongue, but all of them lied, but this one.
That's right, my minister. That's right.
This one has made an art out of it.
Yes, sir. The art of lies.
Now, I know you all heard that I converted.
Go ahead, talk about it. Talk about it. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
You all heard it. That the minister has converted to our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. They act like the minister has never taught on
That's
Jesus.
right, sir. That's right. That's right.
They act like the minister has just found Jesus.
No, sir. No, sir.
But the way they put it out trapped a lot of ignorant people who don't know how the minister has been teaching.
That's right.
So I'm going to make it real clear now so there won't be any mistake. I spoke at the church of Reverend Willie Wilson
Yes, sir.
in Washington, D.C. He's been my friend and my brother and companion for 40 years. And at the end of my talk, I said, I know that my Redeemer liveth. And I said, because he lives, I too shall live and will stand with him at the latter day.
That's what you said.
That's what I said.
That's right. Sir.
I said, I have kept the faith.
That's it. That's it. Go ahead now.
I have finished the course.
Yes, sir. Come on.
Now is laid up for me a crown.
Go ahead.
And I go to my Father to receive that crown.
Yes, sir. That's what you said.
I said, it's not a crown of jewels. It's a crown on my head of the next 9,500 years of this cycle of time.
That's right.
And there won't be no enemies on the planet. Our time has come.
That's right.
That was my declaration of my faith. I have never deviated from that.
That's right, never. Not at all. That's right.
In 1980, December, I came into the knowledge and the belief that my teacher, Elijah Muhammad, was physically alive and had escaped a death plot that involved the government and hypocrites and devils. And on our first Savior's Day of this new dispensation, February 22nd, in 1981, I made it known in my lecture, Elijah Muhammad is alive. Wait now. After making that statement, I lost some ministers. The nationalist community that helped me walked away from me. How could that so-and-so say Elijah Muhammad is alive and we got a death certificate on him?
Come on now. Go ahead, yes, sir.
But that did not deter me.
No, that's right. That's right.
I'm about to say something to help you all understand something about Jesus and about the Quran that you read and the Bible that you read. I said to the family of Muhammad, Elijah Muhammad, I'm willing to sit down and never speak again. I said, let's exhume the body. I said, he had a dentist here in Chicago and he had one in Mexico. And if that is he, I'll be quiet. You'll never hear from me again. Now, all these Negroes wanted to silence me, but they didn't want to accept the challenge. So I kept on preaching. My leader is alive.
That's right.
Wait. Now all of you can call me crazy. No. Hell, I've done heard it, man. When a man steps out like that and says something unbelievable that he believes, he's either a damn fool or he knows what he's talking about. I'm rising. All my detractors are going down. Yes, if God ain't with me, you tell me what and who is responsible for the success that I have had. Talk back to me.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Yes, sir.
4 years later, in 1985, I was in a little village in Mexico called Tepoztlan. And on the night of the 17th of September, in a vision-like experience, I climbed a mountain that I had climbed in reality several times. With me in that vision-like experience was Brother Jabril, who's here somewhere today. What you doing in the back? He's the one that told me he was alive. I said, man, this guy here. I said, he woke me up, but I think he got it all twisted, you know. But I finally saw the truth. And I could never have done the things that I've done with God's help if I didn't believe that my teacher was alive. Because everything that I have done in 40 years, not one thing have I done that was not inspired by something he put in my head that at the proper time germinated. And that night on that mountain, when we got to the top of it, it was lit. And a little UFO was coming like it was going to land on top of that mountain. And Jabril was very close to me in the experience. And I said, come on, Jabril. And a voice from that little wheel said, not him, just you. So he stepped back and I walked out, thinking that the wheel was going to land. 3 legs came out from it, but it never came over the mountain. And a beam of light came out of that wheel and drew me up into it on a beam of light. Now you can say, nigga, you crazy, you a liar. You can say whatever you want. But I'm not known to be a liar. And I'm going to show you how the white man respects my knowledge. I sat beside a man. I couldn't see him. He was the pilot. He took off at a terrific speed, and I knew he was taking me to that great wheel that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us of, that Ezekiel saw 595 BC, a wheel in the middle of a wheel. You sing the song, swing low, sweet chariot, coming to carry me home. Boy, this is real. And the man knew, who was driving the little plane, that I was frightened to see something that huge in the sky, a half a mile by a half a mile. So he maneuvered that craft in such a way where I wouldn't see the magnitude of it, and then came into a tunnel. Now I'm inside the wheel. He got up, opened the door on his side, came around and opened on my side, then opened a door and let me into a room. I saw a scroll that was rolled down
Yes, sir.
with cursive writing on it. And as I tried to read it, I heard the voice of a man as a student that I had listened to for 20 some odd years. And when he spoke to me, listen to what he said. He rebuked me for something that I had gotten involved with that's in his life. And it frightened me. And he rebuked me because he said, I didn't call you up here to talk to you about that. That let me know he approved. I'm going to say it again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That let me know he approved. Then he said, President Reagan,
Yes, sir.
in early September, met with his Joint Chiefs of Staff to plan a war. He said, I want you to hold a press conference and make known their plans and tell them that you got it from me, Elijah Muhammad, on the wheel. Now he wants me to tell the enemy where he is and the kind of power that he has. See, I'm going to introduce you to the real Jesus today. Look at this now. The 17th of September.
That's right, that's right.
To my Muslim family in the 17th surah of the Holy Quran. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, had a night journey. He was in the tent. And everybody that was guarding him know he didn't leave the tent. But in the morning he told them where he had been. That a fast-moving barrage took him from Mecca to Jerusalem. And then took him all the way up to the inner sanctum of God. And the last person that he saw before he went in with God was Jibreel. Not him, just you, Muhammad. Not him, just you, Muhammad. And when Muhammad went in that wheel, or that special place, 1400 years ago, he was told to teach the people prayer 50 times a day. And that's all that God said to him. 50 prayers a day. He came out, he ran into Moses, according to this. Moses said, what did he say?
Listen.
He said, we got to pray 50 times a day, according to the history. He said, no, you got to go back and talk to him because 50 times a day is a lot of prayers.
Think about that.
Especially the way we pray. So he goes back in and troubles the God. And the God, okay, reduce the number. He goes back out and Moses said, what did he say now? He said, that's still too many. So finally, he went back and the God told him 5 prayers a day. Each prayer, the value of 10.
Think about that. Think about that.
Each prayer, the value of 10. Well, I went in.
Let's go ahead, beloved.
He didn't talk to me about prayer.
Go ahead now.
He told me what to tell the people that Reagan was doing. I'm coming to something now. Y'all pay attention.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Then you can call me a liar, but you will never say that what I'm telling you, I can bank my life on it. Before too long, you're going to bear witness. Farrakhan is not who you think he is. A little bit more.
Go ahead.
When he said, I want you to hold a press conference, make known their plans. Listen to what he said.
Yes, sir.
He said, you got one more thing to do. And when you have completed that, you may come again to the wheel. And I will permit you to see me face to face. And he dismissed me. I got in that wheel. It went up to a terrific height and turned so I could look down on that wheel. And it looked like a city in the sky. And you all got it in the Bible, but you don't necessarily understand that there was a New Jerusalem.
That's right. Go ahead.
A New Jerusalem that came down
Go ahead.
from heaven. Not something that the old Jerusalem. A new one.
Go ahead.
Look at the cubits of that new one and measure it. When I got back, the vision, when I finished and did the press conference, the experience was over. The next morning I awakened and I couldn't remember nothing. I went on about my little business in Mexico. And on the next day, which was the 19th, my wife was in the bed. I was saying my prayers a little late. But while I was saying my prayers, the whole room started shaking. I looked at the ceiling and it looked like it was water. I said, this is an earthquake. I ran to the window and I saw it was throwing the water up out of the pool. And I was looking for some place to hide. The bed was already to the floor, so I couldn't get up under there. And Khadijah looked like, you know, it wasn't nothing phasing her, you know what I mean? So finally it stopped, and we drove, or I was driven, to Cuernavaca, where Mother Tainetta Muhammad has her home. And as I walked up the stairs to her house, to the right at the top of the stairs, there's a glass window where that was her kitchen. And that's when it came back to me, my experience. I told her, Mother Tainetta, and my wife, my experience. But Mother Tainetta saw me, and she later writes that it looked like he was in a stupor. She didn't use that word, but that he wasn't fully cognizant of the import of what had happened to him. And so we left Cuernavaca, and flew to Phoenix because I had just finished a speech in Los Angeles. Over 19,000 people in the arena, and the Jews were walking around on the outside with signs saying, "Who do you want?" Farrakhan. "How do you want him?" Dead. When I finished in Los Angeles, I was then getting ready to go to New York. This very month, October, the 7th day, Elijah Muhammad's birthday, we were establishing that day in the nation in remembrance of him.
That's right. That's right.
And Jibril met me at the airport, and while we in the car driving, I told him my experience. He said he needed to stop right away to the convenience store, and he went in the convenience store not knowing that I was behind him. I seen him walking down the aisle. I'm walking behind him, and he threw his hands up in the air like this, like the words that I spoke that he was alive had now been verified. And when he turned around to look at me, I saw the tears in his eyes. And I guess we embraced, and we got ready to go to New York. His dear wife at that time was in the art and culture community, and she was like a makeup specialist. In New York, the city was hot. I mean, Mayor Koch, a Jewish man, said that Farrakhan was a black Hitler, a devil. And the Jews were marching around Madison Square Garden. Who do you want? Farrakhan. How do you want him? I'm still alive, though, ain't I? Brother and sister, Jibril and I were under disguise when we got in the plane coming to Hartford Springfield Airport. So we were going to be picked up and driven into New York under the radar because they were at the airports watching for me. Now, he and I walked up to the counter and just bought 2 tickets under assumed names. Because in those days, you could do that. Not today. So while I'm sitting next to my brother on the plane, he said, "Minister, could you go over your experience again?" He pulled out his tape recorder, and I went over it. But as I started going over it, I began to weep. And I told him something happened to me while I was up there. And I made a motion like how you about to stick a needle in somebody and you rub the flesh to get it deadened a little and then pop that needle. I said, they put something inside of me and I don't know what it is, but I know they did something to me. Now, all of you, and some of us are spooky. And I understand, but I ain't spooky. This thing really went down. And look at this now. As I'm crying because I can't understand what happened to me. Oh, Lord, the time is running. No, I can't do that, but I got to finish it. You know, this experience is like the Quran says, Allah is He who takes men's souls by night. And those on whom the decree of death has passed, He keeps them. But those on whom the decree of death has not passed, He sends them back to seek the bounty of their Lord. Now look, you remember when you were a little person and Mama was teaching you how to pray? She said, say it like this: now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. Now you may not believe this, but when God takes a soul of somebody that He's given a mission to, He writes on that soul and sends him back. You all been watching me now for 40 years. I stand up in front of an audience. You don't see me turning a lot of notes, doing nothing. It just comes like I started today. Look, man. That God did something to me. In the Quran, on that night of majesty, did the Quran come to him in one night or over 23 years?
Over 23 years.
Yeah. But look at what the Quran says. This was the night, not in which 5 verses of the Quran were revealed. This is the night in which the Holy Quran was revealed. So God could put the whole book in a man, and under right circumstances, what He put in starts coming out as a revealed word. It took me 4 years to find out who the war was with. I mean, to deliver the announcement. I was traveling in Africa on a world tour. And the last country that I was in was a French-speaking country. Do you remember? Benin. And I told all the Muslims and my family, you go home. Because it has come to me that the war is against Gaddafi and Libya. And I'm going to Libya to warn him. Brother Khalid was by my side.
Yes, sir.
And Brother Khalid said, Brother Farrakhan, let me go and do this, because I have not done anything significant yet. And I would rather be the one to go to jail than you. And I said, Khalid, that's a noble gesture. But I am more well known than you. So if they arrest me for traveling to Libya, which there was a $50,000 fine and 10 years in prison for anyone that went to Libya. Now, you know, I have to tell you, man, your brother ain't no punk.
That's right. That's right.
And any of you that are afraid of what the white man can do to you, and you punk out on your people, there's a punishment coming to you for cowardice. I went on to Libya, and that night in my hotel room, Gaddafi's governmental staff was in the room, and I told them my experience. They jumped out of that room so quick, they went right to Gaddafi, because I told them America's going to bomb.
Listen.
They're going to bomb the airport. They're going to destroy the project, the water project. And the next day, 86 nations were in Tripoli. And Brother Gaddafi said, I want you to speak to the people before me. And right from Tripoli, I told the Attorney General of the United States government,
Come on.
a warning to leave my brother alone.
Yes, sir.
Gaddafi took the warning, got his planes out of Tripoli into the Sudan. That time he heeded my warning, because I'm not warning on my own. I was in Libya when the Libyan people shot down the first plane that came over from the Gulf of Sirte. An American aircraft carrier was in the Gulf, and the fight was on. Then it stopped because the wheel showed up. I want you to hear me. Because, see, we got a weapon so terrible. America cannot defend herself against what my God has. And I'm saying it like that so you know that when the police got that microphone and say, 1013, back up, officer in distress. I got back up. Elijah Muhammad told me there'll be two of us backing you up, brother. Allah and myself. Yes, he told me that before he left me. But if he was dead, I know he couldn't say that and mean it.
Right.
So when I found out he was alive, then everything he had told me made sense. So I think I should bring this to, well, near a conclusion. From Reagan to Trump.
Come on, listen.
I want you to listen.
Yes, sir.
It's been 32 years.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
32 years. And every president, including Barack Obama, has had war with some part of the Muslim world. But the thing that I said when I made the announcement, the war was on two fronts. It was a Muslim nation over there and a tiny Muslim nation here that represents a people that are under assault. So I said, the war is against black people, particularly black youth.
Yes, sir.
And the war is on the world of Islam.
That's right.
Right.
Okay. Did you know that when Nixon was president, according to Haldeman's testimony, Haldeman was in the inner circle of Nixon. And Haldeman said, there are two things that Nixon feared. The anti-war left and the blacks. Listen to what I said. The anti-war left. That's a specific element in the white community. But when it came to us, it was the whole people that he feared. So when the white man fears you, he makes moves. I warned us back then in '89
Yes, sir.
that the war on drugs was a war on black people.
Right. Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
I could be very specific, but time is running.
Right.
And finally, just a few years ago, they admitted that the war on drugs was a war on our black youth.
Yes, sir.
Now I'm going to fast forward 32 years now, and we come to Donald Trump. My God. Look, y'all ready?
Yes, sir.
Trump is a very special human.
Go ahead.
Before he was elected, I told them, if you all elect him,
Yes, sir.
he will take you to hell on a rocket ship.
Exactly what you said. Yes, sir. That's exactly what you said. That's what he said.
And the war on black is intensifying.
Right. Right.
The 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay Hotel, just 32 years after my more than a vision experience, a white man breaks out the windows, got 47 guns that he got from his houses in Vegas, and he fitted them out that an automatic weapon would be made into a machine gun. And from the 32nd floor, he started shooting. Oh man, this was pretty rough. And when I saw that, I said, Father, there's something you're trying to tell me. Because the first part of October, there was an earthquake in Mexico City.
Yes, sir.
Like the one 32 years ago. On September, no, earlier than the 19th, was an 8.1, the same magnitude that it was 32 years ago, that brought my experience back to my remembrance. 32 years later, an earthquake. And then on the same day of the earthquake in Mexico City, it struck again near Puebla and Cuernavaca, 7.1. I said, Father, are you telling me something that I must do? See, the president met already with his military generals. And when he came out, it was the 9th of September, the last meeting he had with his generals. I know what he plans.
Yes, sir.
And I will reveal it in a few days, in the right place at the right time. I want Mr. Trump to know. You playing with a fire, buddy? But this time, it'll be the end of America as you know it. Now, wait a minute. All you that think you got hope in this, you better start revamping your thinking. Because it's time now.
Yes, sir.
Prophet Muhammad taught you prayer. But Elijah Muhammad says, it is better to teach separation than to teach prayer. Because you can pray all you want, living with the devil. And when you walk out your house and turn on the TV, he's there influencing you and your children. So your prayer that you said at Fajr is ineffective by Salatul Zuhr. We'll never be the type of people that God intends until we are separated from this enemy. Preachers, you've been preaching about judgment. Now you preach prosperity.
Go ahead.
Teach us.
And the judgment is not in
Listen.
your preaching.
Listen.
To my Muslim imams, sheikhs, brothers,
Teach us.
you really want to get along with these people. I understand. You want to forgive them. I don't understand that.
That's right. That's right. Come on.
But I want you to know something.
Teach us.
There are white people right now who see the end. And they want absolution from the evil consequences of what they have done. Many of them, the younger ones in particular, it's like this. The Bible puts it so clear. Prepare slaughter for the children, for the iniquities of their father, even to the third and fourth generation of them that hate me.
That's right.
Now, you are fathers and mothers in here.
Listen.
Life is short. But because life is short, there's no reason for you to live it carelessly, foolishly, and wickedly.
That's right, brother. That's right. Teach us. That's right.
Because your life and the way you live it sets up good. If you live your life good for those whom you leave behind. In the janazah prayer service of the Muslims,
Yes, sir.
in the prayer, while we are praying for the life of the one that is gone,
Yes, sir. Listen.
we say, "Oh Allah, do not make us to fall into a trial after him or her, and do not deprive us of his or her reward." What you don't understand is when you do good, good lays up consequences for your offspring. And when you do evil, you sentence your offspring. Now, some of you in here like cocaine.
Listen.
And others like weed.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Where's my brother?
Go ahead.
This is the weed killer. Now, to all my weed smoking family, what? You don't think I have family that smoke weed? You got family that smoke weed. Weed is a big thing. But what he's teaching us in a scientific way of what the government of America is doing to destroy your future with God. By taking the weed in its natural state, which has great properties to be used properly. But enemy is weaponizing
That's right.
weed
Yes, sir.
Listen.
with chemicals
Yes, sir.
that perform lobotomies.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Listen.
They used to put a needle or ice pick
Yes, sir.
in certain parts of the brain. It's called the amygdala, right?
Amygdala.
Amygdala. Yeah, thank you, brother.
Go ahead.
And my brother has made so many people angry with him. But I want you to know something. He has to teach what God has shown him to warn you of the consequences of your actions. He's pointing out members of the Jewish community who have been involved in the science of weaponizing weed. I just want you to say, this is my brother. If I were you, I'd let him preach. And if I were you, because we will hurt you if you try to hurt a brother that's trying to help you to save your life. Do you know this enemy is weaponizing mosquitoes? This man is going there to destroy our future because he knows that God is after you. I'm going to close now. The enemy wants to keep you from being accepted by God.
Yes, sir.
And with these drugs, he's making homosexuals.
Yes, sir.
Imagine one drug.
Listen.
On TV they say,
Come on, brother.
well,
Come on.
a male's talking to males, if you after taking this begin developing breasts,
That's right. That's right. That's right, brother.
stop.
That's what it said.
Then they give you another chemical. They say, oh, it's a great medicine. But listen, if you get thoughts of suicide,
That's another one. That's right. That's right, beloved.
stop.
That's right.
So you mean chemicals can so influence your process of thought?
Come on, take.
Chemicals can so affect the amygdala and the moral part of your brain that you don't know right from wrong no more? The Holy Quran tells you the devil makes evil fair seeming.
That's right.
So I think I should wrap this up with two things. And I'll be back in a few weeks in Washington. because I want to open up my experience to Donald Trump.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
And let him know what God has shown the servant of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Amen. Colin Kaepernick thank you.
That's cool, bro. You good.
Colin Kaepernick took a knee. That brother was not trying to disrespect the flag.
That's right.
Go ahead, brother.
He was disturbed over the police killings of black and brown people outside of the law of justice. And he wanted to draw attention to it. Because all of the evil that we have suffered, we suffered it under the Confederate flag, and we suffered it mostly under the so-called American flag.
That's right. Yes, sir.
So Colin took a knee on September 1st, 2016, when the flag was presented and the national anthem was played. It has generated much controversy. But did you know that there's a code on how to respect the American flag?
Go ahead, Brother Minister. Point it out.
The Congressional Research Service, CRS, prepared a report for members of Congress in 2009 on the federal law relating to the U.S. flag and its display, which was enacted by Franklin Delano Roosevelt, president, in 1942. The CRS report says the flag code is designed for the use of such civilian groups or organizations as may not be required to conform with regulations promulgated by one or more executive departments of the federal government. You don't have to conform, and there's no punishment.
That's right.
According to the code. Let me go on. Section 4 of the flag code covers the Pledge of Allegiance. Congress has, by U.S. Code Statute 36, yes, I want to get it right, designated the national anthem as the Star-Spangled Banner and set out the proper conduct during its presentation. Listen to this. No penalty or punishment is specified in the flag code. Lastly, the flag code is not a mandate of federal law. It does not proscribe conduct, but is merely declaratory and advisory. Meaning it does not give punishment.
Yes, sir.
Let me go on.
Yes, sir. Go on.
Section 8 of the flag code is entitled Respect for Flag. And it gives all the things that are in the code of disrespect for the flag. And guess what?
All right.
One such act that shows disrespect for the flag reads, point number C, the flag should never be carried flat or horizontally, but always aloft and free. Now, is that flag horizontal?
Yes, sir.
That's disrespect of the American flag. And when my brother takes a knee and his brothers join him, the President of the United States calls us sons of bitches. Now, when I was young, say something about mom.
That's right.
Those are fighting words, brother. And to add insult to injury, the National Football League and the Department of Defense,
Yes, sir.
they have been paid millions of dollars to display the flag
Sir.
in that way and play the national anthem. It leads to people joining the armed forces. Ain't got nothing to do with patriotism. They get millions of dollars from the Department of Defense for displaying the flag in a disrespectful manner. It's about money. It's about recruiting. It's about using the patriotic zeal of the people. So Mr. Trump has changed the narrative. Black people don't hate the flag as such. They don't hate America as such. But they just wanted to draw attention to what we're suffering under the flag.
That's right.
And the police that shot us down, they got a flag somewhere on their uniform.
That's right. That's right.
When we go to court, the flag is there and we can't get no justice.
That's right. No justice. None. Come on.
My son's father-in-law fought in World War II. And he saw his buddies shot down, blown to pieces on Normandy Beach. So every time he sees the flag, he stands, puts his hand over his heart, not so much for the flag, but for the noble men and women who have died for that flag.
That's right. Go ahead.
But Mr. Trump, when did your father get here from Germany? And you so-called patriots. See, when you all came here from Europe, you had a country to come home to. The Statue of Liberty welcomed you. Give us your tired, your poor. the wretched refuse of your teeming shores, the huddled masses yearning to breathe free. Send these, the homeless tempest tossed, to me. I lift my lamp beside a golden door. It never was a golden door for us.
Never. Never.
The first man to die in the Revolutionary War that gave America a nation was a black man. Black folk died in the War of 1812. Black folk died in the Civil War on both sides, North and South.
That's right.
Black brothers have died in World War I, World War II, Korean conflict, Vietnam, and the army is full of them now. Mr. Trump, no wonder the generals are a little kind of PO'd at you. Because these same black men whose mothers you referred to in such a negative way for producing giants in the world of sport and play, you're going to be calling on them to fight the war that's you building up to now. So I want you to understand our position.
Yes, sir.
Evidently, the messenger saw this years ago.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told me, he said, you can stand for the flag out of respect
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
for a symbol that governs a sovereign nation. Because that's what you want for yourself one day, to fly your flag
Come on. Come on.
over a sovereign nation of your own. But we can't pledge no allegiance. You didn't hear me. I can't put my hand over my heart for you, but I'll stand. See, I don't take a knee. Because see, in the prayer service, we bow to Allah. We kneel to Allah. We prostrate to Allah. We ain't got nothing for you like that. I'm not going out in front of the White House and kneel down and throw my fists up like, oh, hell with that. Your salvation is not in the house. That's called the White House. Salvation wasn't there when they put a black man in there for you.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
It's Jesus who saves.
Right.
So in my conclusion, I want to talk about my Jesus. The one that taught me everything that I know. And I never went to a theological seminary. Seminary.
Go ahead. That's right.
Jesus never taught Christianity.
That's right.
That's right.
Wait now. Don't get your hackles up. Just calm down. In the book of John, Jesus said many things about who he is.
Right.
I am the good shepherd.
That's right.
I am the door.
Go ahead.
I am the true vine, my Father is the husband.
That's right.
He talks about I am the way, the truth, and the life. Good God Almighty. Then in Revelation he said, I am the resurrection and the life. Whosoever believes in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. That's Jesus.
That's right.
But he never said, I am a Christian.
That's right. That's right, beloved. Never.
I think I'll take a little walk
Go ahead.
and walk back. He never said, I'm a Christian.
That's right.
So why are you fighting us? Well, he ain't a Christian. Tell you the truth, you're not one either. You got a hell of a nerve. Do you know what a real Christian looks like? Hey there. Look at them. They dress in long dresses like Jesus and the women around Jesus. You don't find them with low cut, with their breasts hanging out. You don't find them with a short dress and their cellulite showing. You find them dignified, covered, submission to God. That's what Jesus was. He said, not my will, but your will, Father. That's a Muslim. So we the real Christians if you want to take a look at a Christian. Hey!
Go ahead.
What did you say, Fat Cat?
Go ahead.
Look at your brother. I can say it with strength. Greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. The world frightened the hell out of you, Christian. So if Christ is in you, the world can't touch you. World got you bamboozled. World got you hoodwinked. All the world has to do is threaten you, and you collapse. They've been threatening me for 40 years.
That's right.
How I look to you? Do I look frightened?
No, sir.
Do I look undone?
No, sir.
Getting stronger every day?
Yes, sir. That's right.
And I'm 84 going on 85, and my foot is filled with the fecal matter of the behinds that I'm kicking in the name of Jesus the Christ. Put that white man up on the screen. Put the Jesus that they say is Jesus. There he is. Oh, don't he look beautiful? The real Jesus didn't look like that.
No, sir.
That's their imagination of Jesus. That's the symbol of white supremacy in the role of divinity. Did you hear what I said? That's why you can't shake your love for the white man because of your love of a false Jesus. Jesus was not a white man. Well, we don't care if he's Jesus. Yeah, but he ain't Jesus. So if the real Jesus knocked on Trump's door, Mr. Trump, I've come to claim you. Well, who the hell are you? With that kinky hair. He said, I'm Jesus. Call the gods. There's a nigger that broke up into the White House talking about he Jesus. Shoot him on sight. I want you to put up the real Jesus. Put him up on the screen. Allahu Akbar.
Go ahead, dear Pastor. Yes, sir. That's our Jesus.
That's my Jesus. That's the man that saved me. And every one of these can testify that that Jesus can save. That's why I look like a young man, though I'm an old man, because I met Jesus.
Go ahead, dear Pastor. That's right.
Sit down 1 minute.
Go ahead.
See, here's how God is working. Because Moses was given power in his rod to deal with Pharaoh. See, Pharaoh looked like God to the children of Israel. Pharaoh was handled by Moses.
That's right.
Go ahead.
And the God sent down 10 plagues. 9 in the Quran, 10 in the Bible. Because in the end, every knee, not some knees, baby, every knee will bow. I put my Jesus up again. I'm closing, telling you about his power now. He told me, when you see me again, brother, the power that I will be exercising, if I did not tell you that I was not God, you would be found worshiping at my feet. Listen to this. In your lessons, what makes rain, hail, snow, and earthquakes? It tells you how the sun and the moon draw water up from the earth's surface in a fine mist that you can hardly detect. But when it forms with other mist, it forms what is called a cloud. And depending upon the current of air that the cloud is in, when the cloud is heavier than gravitation, it distills back to the earth in the form of rain. But if a cold current, that cloud passes through it, it comes back in a fluffy thing called snow or ice like sleet or hail. All of that is made
That's right.
by the Son of Man. Oh, just give me a minute. I want to introduce you to your Jesus. You got the right name. You got the right man. You just got a white man, and he's not your Jesus. They'll be looking for your Jesus to save them from what's about to come down. You can say I'm crazy, but every time I told you I'll watch the weather.
That's right, my man. Every time. Every time.
Not sometime. Every time.
Every time.
There's a connection
Come on, brother.
between your brother and the Son of Man who makes rain, hail, snow, and earthquakes. All of it is done by the Son of Man. What Son of Man? Come on, Christian. 24th chapter of Matthew. As lightning shines from the east even unto the west, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. Why are you coming out of the east to the west? As I began, a son is born. He shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God, the Prince of Peace, the Everlasting Father. He comes with a government on his shoulder because he represents the kingdom that you all have been commissioned to help him to build. I say this to my brother Stevie Wonder. What a beautiful heart. Dick Gregory, the civil rights movement. You all got beautiful hearts that you could suffer the indignities that you've suffered to try and get the white man to change. He's the same today as he was. Look at Brother Dick. He lived his life to change this system. He died. The system's still here. This is not a system that you can reform. It's a system that must be destroyed. And that's why God has come. You got a great mayor in this city. And he's a good man. But I don't care how much good he has in him. He can't change this system. System is in place, Brother Roz. And the system backs the light energy people. You can't change a bulb to save money because the system say we got to get paid. I'm just telling you what we're up against. And if we are not careful and protect our brother, they will try to kill him like they kill all those who offend the system. We got to get him elected again.
Yes, sir, we do.
Get him elected for what? Because the stronger he is, the more he can extract from the system.
Think about that now.
Yeah, that's how you got here. In your mother's system. The system was trying to get rid of her. Get rid of you. Until you found a firm resting place. in the wall of the uterus. And you had to hold on tight because mama was trying to abort the pregnancy.
Go ahead.
Yeah, right. But after 30 days, you knew something was going on.
Go ahead. Right.
After the first trimester, you said, Lord, I'm going to have a baby. And the baby was feeding all the time from what you ate. That's what we're doing now. We're feeding from them. So whatever they eat, we eat. Whatever's in their system is in ours.
Think about this.
And now, the little womb can't expand no more to accommodate our growth. And when your womb has reached that point where it cannot expand anymore, the head got to be placed in the right position. With the back of the head facing the uterus of the vagina, pelvic bone, and its forehead facing the back of the mother. Now push, mama. Push it real good. And I don't know about you, but the pushing is going on now. We push it real good. And the feet that used to be down, see, that's them leaders that can't bring you to freedom. Because they like where they are. But hell, that head knows it's time to get up out of here. And look at this. How many of you have gotten sick with toxemia? What happened? Baby too long in the womb. It needs to be delivered. Oh, Lord. Look at this now. You ready?
Yes, sir.
God says, your agreement with hell will not stand. Your covenant with death shall be annulled. Look at what the God is saying. Shall the lawful captive be delivered? Yes. So God has come now to deliver you. You've said it in your songs, the battle is not ours. The battle is the Lord's. And look at you with your little pop gun. Oh, Newark, he put all those guns in every black community. Now they're about to come in a military fashion. I'm letting you know. They're going to bust in your door and look for the weapons and use it as a pretext to shoot you down. Now, you might get one or two, but they intend to kill as many of us like the guns that shot off at the 32nd floor. This time it ain't talking. They coming to kill. Yeah, shall the lawful captive be delivered and the prey be taken from the mighty? I'm here to tell you, Mr. Trump, you're going to let us go. I'm here to tell you, even though some of you do not want to leave.
Yes, sir.
I understand. But you can stay and die with your lover.
What a picture.
Because God is going to take him down.
That's right.
Watch. Do you think that Irma was playing?
Come on.
Some of you dumb enough to think that's climate change.
Yeah, help us. Teach.
Trillions of gallons of water fell when Harvey came.
Oh, that's right.
I told some near me, I said, it's going to go back out in the Gulf
Yes, sir.
and pick up some more steam and come back. It had never happened before.
Never.
The hurricane came and struck,
That's right.
and it went back out in the Gulf, got some more, came back in, and dropped more. It's under an intelligent guide. Some of my brothers are here from Houston.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, most of the Muslims were spared. Tell them the good news, because the death angel is in America now. And if you don't claim the lamb and put the lamb's blood on your gatepost, the death angel will visit your house. But we've survived. Well, the worst is yet to come. If it pleases God, when I deliver my next message to Mr. Trump and to his government, I want you to watch what God brings. And if you're scared, it's okay. Just stay way behind me. Brother Farrakhan is not afraid. By God's grace. I'm not running from death. I'm running to death. So when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said I had one more thing to do, I kept doing so many things trying to see when that one more thing would happen. And what a wise teacher. He was leading me to Calvary, but I wasn't aware. See, when God is getting ready to take you through the portal of death, you know, he got to build you up. Make you understand you're going to make it through. I mean, when Jesus was hanging on that cross, he understood, even though he said, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, my God, why have you forsaken me? I pray that those words are not in my mouth. But they said, those Jews that were nearby, look, he calls for Elijah.
That's right.
Let us see, will Elijah take him down? Put him back up on that screen. I'll get through, and so will you. If you choose God over Satan and correct your behavior. So I thank you for listening. And I want you to know that your rebellion is what's bringing earthquakes and rain and hail and snow. It's the way you live in your life. White folk make you think that lesbian and homosexual behavior is all right. It's okay. You can come this way. Because my teacher loves you. but he don't love the way you live in your life. So he has a program of reform. I used to smoke weed. Not yesterday. Long time ago. And the weed that I smoke don't turn you into a sissy. But I'm scared of what you smoking. But who told you that that behavior is acceptable to God? See, pastors, you don't really represent Christ if you're going to bow down to what the white man says acceptable. You don't accept that. So you got a problem with God now? Stick around. As he destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. And it's talking about the Son of Man. Poor Noah, he preached 150 years. Poor man. Dang, God told him, go build a ship in the desert. What? Ah, look, man. He caught hell. Did you hear me? He gathering planks and nails in the desert.
Think about it.
Hammer, put it here. Yeah, that's right. And the people walk by and say, look at that. Nothing. He think it's going to rain. And it took a long time, but one day he looked up and he saw a cloud way in the distance. He said, y'all get in. That cloud is going to get terrific. And then the doubters, even one of his children, said, man, I'm not getting in no ark. And most of the people think that separation is a pipe dream.
Yes, sir.
My dear friend Cornel West actually said, you living in a pipe dream, baby. Well, I ain't smoking the pipe.
Yes, sir.
And the God that I serve, the Quran says of him, he does not slumber, nor does sleep overtake him. It ain't a dream. He's coming to get you. If he has to whip you into submission, he'll beat you into submission, but he's going to kill your enemy. And he's going to let your enemy kill you because of your unrequited love. So keep on loving the devil, because he gives you nothing.
Nothing.
And I thank you from the depth of my heart for your attention, for your attendance, for listening to what we have to say. It's either separation or death. Thank you for listening. May Allah bless you. Assalamu alaikum.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Let's give the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan a well-deserved round of applause. Were we taught today? Were we fed today? Were we inspired today? Were we warned today? Well, let's not just be hearers of the word, but let's carry that word into practice. Please remain standing so that we can close with prayer. The gentlemen, please stay where you are, still. We want to thank God properly for what he gave to us through his servant, Minister Farrakhan. The gentleman that the minister mentioned, Haldeman, with President Nixon, it's actually John Ehrlichman. So we always want to give accurate information. You can get the DVD of today. Very important message that has to be shared beyond these walls, because this is a message that will save the lives of those whom we love. Your friend, your